So surreal. I mean, we're friends, Olivia and I, and when we started out at drama school, not that we knew each other then, but not long after. It's a very heightened part of our industry, period. But when you're doing it with a friend, it's like, what the hell's going on? But it's wonderful. It's a celebration of really something born out of a friendship, not the material, but the need to work together. So I'm thrilled that we're here and celebrating it. So Theo's an architect. He's very hard-working, impulsive, funny, and emotionally available, and acts impulsively on those emotions. And he meets someone who is as impulsive, as stuck in a rut in England. They both set off on this adventure. They go to America, the land of opportunity, and the American dream to be what you really want to be. And they start a family, they have success in their career and their home, branch out and become the chef that she's so talented at being. That takes off, he has a disaster, and this huge shift in the dynamic starts a sort of rot in their relationship, and the wit that's a love language becomes invective and bitterness. He's a wonderful character to play. He's funny, he's a great dad, he's patient, he's somebody very, very in touch with his feelings, and very direct and honest. And she's so supportive and generous, and all the things I said earlier on, she's someone that really, really does bring joy to the entire set, not just you, but the crew, the cast, the whole process is fun. She's a little bit of everything, not nearly as much as Kate McKinnon and Andy Samberg, royalty of SNL. We had some fun, and he's amazing. Despite his prowess and award-winning brilliance, he's still an Australian man who goes, yeah, try it, I like that idea. He's just very mild-mannered, very accommodative, very collaborative. And that went for the writing process as well as on the day. And, it's a lovely, lovely writer to have on set. Laughter is definitely one of them. Patience, love in patience. And, just not getting lost in yourself, realising that thing in the middle of you, which is the marriage, the relationship, the conversation.
Really exciting. I can't believe we got this far. Really, working with Benedict Cumberbatch. He was so sweet and nice, like a sort of lovely Labrador. I can't think of anything bad to say. I'd love to think of something awful to say to make myself laugh, but he was so nice, kind, encouraging, enthusiastic, really nice, and we laughed a lot. Well, I think we've learnt now over the press we've been doing, it's to listen to each other, be nice, and sometimes don't say what you want to say. Sometimes it's what you don't say.
She's a very fierce lawyer that Olivia Colman's character has hired to help her in her divorce. And I mean business, and I'm coming and not taking any prisoners. It's a good scene. That's why I wanted to be a part of this film. I read that scene, and I was like, yes, I want to come do this. I mean, that opening line, it was an enormous amount of fun. Well, because first of all,
and it would be okay.
These actors deserve to be up on the big screen, but the design of the house, which my brilliant friend Mark Ricker designed, the gorgeous house that Benedict Cumberbatch's character is an architect. He designs this dream house, and it's just gorgeous to look at the scale of it, and then also to watch it be destroyed it deserves to be up on the big screen. I just think it's just more shocking and alarming, and it's heaven. Seriously, one of my favorite things I've ever gotten to do. Olivia is a national treasure. So is Benedict. Andy, I'm in love with. They're all, and Jay Roach. It was just, I can't say enough. It was one of my favorite scenes I've ever done.
Oh, absolutely scripted, yeah. It's a really, really amazing Tony McNamara extension of the Tony McNamara universe. Look, a dinner table scene you shoot over a few days could be a nightmare, but surrounded by that cast, it was heaven. Oh my God.
But you're having fun going home.
What do you think?
You're rolling your eyes. You're hopefully laughing. I love to play someone who's just kind
hundreds of babies from day one.
Exasperating. You try not to ruin other people's work, but sometimes you just can't help it. Everyone was just really funny. They couldn't be sweeter people, and they have like his approach to work is like he's so meticulous and so studied, and she's so like and the result is the same level of greatness, and they're just great people, and I love them both very much. All of it is on the page. I mean, it's Tony McNamara. What do you want? It's perfect. And then, we did improvise. We're comedians. We can't be stopped. But the script is just flawless from top to bottom. I think it might be instructive to folks who are on the brink of something bad. It might push them over the cliff into certain destruction. So careful.
It's amazing. I mean, it's wonderful. And in Leicester Square, it's kind of iconic. I feel like I'm having a slightly out-of-body experience. Yeah, I had to really try and keep a straight face because they are hilarious. And the scene itself is very funny. So I just tried to be as earnest and as bad as I could. Well, it's all word for word because you don't mess with the script unless you want trouble. So it was pretty much as it was, but but I think Benedict and Olivia bring just so much to the actual screen. So that's what sort of lifts it off the page, so to speak. No, they're gorgeous. I love them. Olivia is the most beautiful, warm, playful person, and Benedict is playful and funny, and it's really nice. I had a wonderful time. Yes, I do. Because because it's a great date night film because of the comedy aspect and the feel-good hilariousness of it. And then it actually does, point to a few tricky things and people recognize themselves in the icky bits. And then they can have a conversation about where they're at afterwards. So it's the perfect date night.
It's so exciting. This was such an exciting project to work on, and such a lovely one to work on, where we all had a lot of fun, and so it kind of felt like, are we actually doing anything? This doesn't feel like work. So now to be here, it's this feels great. Olivia and Benedict are amazing in the film. It's so nice to Jeffrey is Ivy's first member of staff at her restaurant. We've Got Crabs. And he's very ambitious. He loves money. He loves men, and he's just a dear friend of Ivy and supporting her and her vision for her business and men and money. Tony's writing, really, it was, I just loved how real it was. I loved the dark comedy, very British, towing that line between love and hate. I thought was such an interesting lens to view a relationship from, because it's very realistic. It seems to just paint really realistic colours, but very vibrant colours. Hilarious. And then also the cast. I was this is a no-brainer. And then the first Zoom that we did was when we did the read-through, and just hearing it come to life was just so. I had to be a part of it. It's tough, really tricky characters. Olivia, they not to be cliche, but they really were mother and father of the set. Welcomed everyone in so warmly, and when that energy is coming from the top down, it really spreads around the whole set. It was a very warm, welcoming set. On our first day, Olivia ordered a bunch of scones, and then we all had scones together, and they were just a delight to work with, absolute delight. I would say it's a toss-up between Kate McKinnon and Zoe Chao. They were incredible. The dinner scene, which will soon become iconic. There was a take where the legendary Kate gets to just riff for 10 minutes, and every second was pure gold. It was amazing to watch. It was a masterclass in improvisation. Oh my god, I think it's going to be so great to watch with your other half. Everyone can relate to
from one to another.
Really not liking the person that they really love and care about, and the two sides of that particular coin. I think people will be able to relate, be able to pick out so much stuff in Ivy and Theo's relationship, because fundamentally they really love each other as much as they're trying to kill each other.
If you do an American
they
accents
do
like
really
you're
love
telling
each
the world
other.
you think you're
And
a cool
I think we
dude,
can all relate.
which
Well, living in London, it's a hop, skip, and a jump, but it feels doubly good to be here for this reason. Yeah. So I play Rory, who is a friend of Benedict and Olivia's characters. And he's just pathetic and really petty and sort of wants to one-up. The kind of person who wants to let everyone know that they knew an album before them. The team was what made me want to be a part of it, to be completely honest. Those actors and Tony and Jay, sort of, it would be very weird to say no. Oh, well, in terms of, it's always good to work with newcomers and give them that head start that they so sorely need. We are, actors are struggling no less than those. I think because it's a very rare opportunity to go and see a comedy in the cinema, and I think I couldn't advise people to do anything more if they want to see more films, full stop, in the future than go to the cinema. Who ruined the most takes from Mobbing? I feel like it might be a pretty even spread. I know that there were a few Zoe Chao moments that made me ruin takes from laughing. So I'm going to just put it on myself. I don't want to put that on anyone else. No, I don't think it's good for a struggling relationship. But I think go and see it to put your relationship to the test.
I've never been here before. The energy is wild.
It's amazing, and we're always saying this while asking everyone who comes up.
And driving in and seeing all the faces lined up and just excited to, it's just thrilling. I play
Tony, thank you so much.
one of Theo's colleagues who's very, very ambitious and a real heat seeker. She's the kind of person who tells you how you're doing in your career. Like if you are doing well, she'll be the first person to be like, wow, singing your praises. And then if you're doing poorly, she's just like rubbing your face in the dirt and saying, these are all the things you did wrong, and that's why you're down there.
I'm all right.
Tony McNamara, Jay Roach, Olivia Colman, Benedict Cumberbatch, and then all the rest of the players who are just goats in their own right. That's when I heard that those were the players, I was like, I will pay to be in this movie. It was just such a mess. No, it wasn't. It was a dream come true. I think Tony does such an effective job portraying what life in 2025 is like, what being in a relationship is like.
How is it when you're
in modern day, and that no one really knows what they're doing. Everyone's sort of fighting to keep it together, and and love is worth fighting for. I do. I think it's for all couples, and I think it's for single people too. To be like, oh, thank God I'm not in a relationship. But also, I think there are actually many affirming qualities for couples as well.
Incredible. If I could tell my childhood self this was going to happen, that I'd be at a premiere for a film in Leicester Square. I've only got 4 lines, but I'm still in it and I'm still here. So, it's the people involved. It's like Benedict, Olivia, Jay, Tony. They're all just amazing. And I really love the original film, so I was kind of intrigued as to what. It's very dark, and I think the humour in watching it just all implode is just there's something. It does draw you in. I'm not proud of saying that, because it's very dark. You are watching people's lives fall apart, but there's a lot of comedy in that. I was going to say I don't know. I'll tell you after. But our relationship, our marriage is not struggling, so it's fine. So it'll be interesting. We have different perspectives on Olivia and Ben. It's amazing because you sit there going, that's Benedict Cumberbatch, and also it makes me really cool with my kids. That was, I would not lie, another part of the draw was being able to go and work with Dr. Strange. He's amazing. And Sherlock, they're really into Sherlock now as well, so I get a lot of points for this. So thank you, Benedict.
It feels a little bit surreal, to be honest. It's great, it's amazing, it's kind of fun. I think it was fun to do it, but it was also driven by Olivia and Ben wanted to be in something together, so I just kind of thought about what are they? They're so great at drama, they're so great at comedy, so let's make a dark comedy, and they're so verbal, so it was like, let's make it super like an old school screwball comedy that gets very dark. Yeah, it started with their idea of, they'd never worked together, they really wanted to. We were in Venice for The Favourite, and I met Ben and Searchlight. We just all ended up together, and it was like, why don't we work out a way to all do this together, and it came from that. I don't know if they ruined the takes. It was some of them, like Ncuti was just couldn't stop laughing and was breaking up all the time, and his laugh became so famous. The other actors would try and break him up. So probably Ncuti. I think it's like when we grew up going to comedies in a cinema and laughing your ass off with like 300 people was part of community, part of growing up, and you had and I think we got so separate in our viewing. It's not big comedies like Jay Roach was the king of them, and now I think it's fun. And when we've seen it with 300 or 400 people and the whole cinema's rocking, we just remembered, oh my God, it's so good to see a comedy in a theatre. God, no, I mean, I'd worked with Olivia and she's a jam. They're all just on board. Jay creates such an atmosphere of fun. We're making something fun, and it's fun, and they're all witty, funny people. So when you add Andy Samberg, Kate, just sitting around drinking coffee, waiting to do a take is the funniest hour of your life. I actually think they should. Benedict was always like, it should be like this fun ride, dark, but at the end it should be like, oh, we just saw a cautionary tale, and at the end they should turn to their partner and go, we need to be nicer to each other and work their shit out, So that was the plan.
It's so exciting. I had no idea it was going to be this scale. It's it's fantastic. I want to be here a lot more often. Well, I think just a blast. I mean, I'm hoping we set a trend again to come back to theaters. Since the pandemic, I don't know if there's as much of a habit as going and laughing your ass off with strangers in the dark. So that's what I hope, and I think Olivia and Benedict are so funny, but then you throw in Kate McKinnon and Andy Samberg and you get a laugh right. It's so fun to experience it with audiences. Well, after you make a film, you can never imagine anybody else in the cast, but the fact that Olivia and Benedict have so much goodwill as performers, are so funny, and are so fast together, when I'm around them, I can't keep up. I'm like the Americans in the film who envy their skill at banter, and so they were ideal, but then everybody involved, every supporting cast, Andy and Kate, Ncuti, Gatwa, Sunit Zamani, Jamie Demetriou, Zoe Chao, and Allison Janney too steps in and just kills, so I don't think we could have done it with anybody else. That's how I feel now. I love the first film. Danny DeVito is a friend, and I just thought he was so beautifully dark and funny. But Tony wanted to try something else along with what the sort of divorce disaster comedy would be, and to bring in a kind of, that you care for them, you're rooting for them in a different way, to stick it out. It's almost like a remarriage comedy, like an old Preston Sturges thing. I feel like they should, it would be fun to have them do a couples therapy bit, because they're very funny together, and they're able to be that dark with each other. And so when I was around them, I was always the Ted Lasso of the group, just kind of trying to keep up, but envying them both as actors and as characters. Tony McNamara is such a great writer. I knew him from The Great on Hulu, and also Poor Things, and people were very respectful of the dialogue. Usually I'm improvising a lot. Kate and Andy do improvise, but
it was amazing.
everybody was so on it with the script, so it was pretty cool. Tony McNamara's dialogue is sensational. Well, it's a good question. I do think there's something about trust, to be able to say anything and to not run away from conflict is a healthy thing to realize. People sometimes keep their guard up to protect their identity or their ego, and sometimes just being willing to just go at it, the way the characters do in the film. They almost figure it out. They're so close to getting it right. If with one or two steps one direction or the other, they would have figured it out. So it's a lovely cautionary tale.